that's when I completely gave up. I stopped tracking my temperature with a thermometer. I stopped taking my everything. I stopped doing ovulation tests. I kind of told God, like, God, why are you doing this to me? Like, I can't conceive. You took away my princess, and that was just very, very hard, and I gave up. And I said, I'm not gonna try anymore. And I told my husband, and I said, I'm not gonna try. Like, we're not getting pregnant. We won't do insemination. We won't do Clomid anymore. Like, we're just not gonna do it anymore. I'm done. I'm done trying. And so for a couple of days, I didn't eat.
She was depressed.
I was depressed. Yeah. I fell into a depression. I called into work, and at work they told me, but you just took a day off. I had taken Friday off, and I said, I need a week. Like, I can't go to work. I was depressed. I was at home. I wasn't eating. I was just crying. I was just crying all day because of Princess and because I failed to conceive. And it was just a very dark time in my life. That time was just very dark. So then the week went by. I remember that week when all that happened. I remember that, like, Ruben, when I was here at home, I remember that Ruben tried to cheer me up. He was making me breakfast. He would take me out to eat, and I remember asking him, like, do you think I'm gonna be happy again? Because I'm not happy. Like, when am I gonna be happy again? But I think that the beauty of that is that that's when, in my mind, I knew, like, I can't control things. I couldn't control Princess passing away. I can't control conceiving. I just had to really surrender, and surrendering is beautiful. It was very freeing, not having to take my temperature, not having to take ovulation tests, not having to say, I'm 7 days post-ovulation, let me take a pregnancy test now. There was just something very freeing about it. Unfortunately, I ended up getting sick. Went to the doctor, and that's when the doctor said, Mija, you have to eat. Like, you haven't eaten in a week. Like, you have to eat something. You're obviously gonna feel like this if you don't eat. So then I remember that you took me out to Village Inn.
Your favorite at the time.
Yeah, he took me to breakfast after the doctor, and that's when we talked, and you really brought me back. You know, I remember we had a conversation, and I don't know if you want to talk about it, but he had told me, like, it's okay if you don't want to continue to try to conceive. I know that this process is hard for you, but don't give up on life.
She was low, and obviously, like, this is my wife, my best friend, and it really hurt seeing her like that. It wasn't easy to see her. She was, I guess, defeated.
I felt defeated.
She felt defeated. It wasn't easy seeing her depressed, not wanting to eat. I mean, we were always laughing. We were always eating the way we both love to eat. Like, we were just always having a good time. For the change to just be like that, and for her to just give up, like, I mean, it hit me hard. That's not who she was. Like, that's not who she is. And all I wanted to do was cheer her up. And in my mind at the time was, I mean, if this is bringing more negatives than positives, if this is making her feel worse rather than feeling better, I mean, then maybe it's not it. Maybe it's not how God wants it. Maybe it's not how we want it. We're trying to make it our will rather than leaving it as God's. I remember just thinking and saying, you know what, like, as much as I want children, as much as I know she wants children, maybe this just isn't the way. I guess some time off, some, like, focus on each other, focus on her, and to focus again on bringing the beauty of life rather than being depressed and being sad over what we can't have.
So after that talk, it brought me back to life. I remember actually that after that talk, my husband told me, to honor Princess, let's go get you a jewelry piece, and I still have it. It was a nice little necklace. The necklace was titled Paws in My Heart, or Footprints in My Heart, or something like that. Then you took me to the movies. We went to the movies. We watched Daddy's Home 2, which that movie is one of our favorites now. It really brought me back too. It was just so funny. I thought it was so funny. I was laughing, like,
that's the first time I had heard her really laugh in I mean, like, 2 weeks or something, a week.
Yeah.
A little over a week, I guess.
It was just like that day really brought me back. By the evening, we were just here at the house. My spirits were very lifted by then, and I don't know why. I actually know why. It was God. That night, I decided to put on my Ava bracelet again. So I didn't take any ovulation tests. I didn't do anything. I just said, let me see how my temperature is now. Let me see. Let me take it. The next morning, you worked really early. I think you had gone in at 5 in the morning. 4 back then, yeah. So he had gone in at 4 in the morning. When I saw my chart, my temperature was very high. It was very high. And those of you that have tried to conceive before, like, you know what that means. It looked like I had ovulated. So I remember that when I saw that, like, I had a glimpse of hope. At that time, I didn't have any pregnancy tests anymore. I didn't have any ovulation tests anymore because I had already given up. So, you know, I didn't think much of it. I kind of didn't want to get my hopes up. So I said, I'm just going to take a test.
And she didn't tell me.
And I didn't, no, because you were at work. It was 4 in the morning. So before work, because I went in at 8 a.m., before work, I drove to Walmart and I bought a pregnancy test. Went to work. I settled in my office and I just wanted to take it. I was just like, I need to take that test. And I took it and it came back positive. But at first I didn't think it was positive because, as I told you guys, I was sick. They gave me medication and the medication was making my pee very dark. So I said, oh, maybe it's just the medication. Like, I don't know. I asked my friend right away. I needed to tell someone, and I told my friend Karen, my best friend. She's one of my best friends now. I said, Karen, I need you to look at something. And we went to like a little closet, and I had my pregnancy test in a little bag, and I was like, look. And then I showed it to her, and she was like, oh my goodness, you're pregnant. And I was like, no, but wait, no, like, do you think I am? Because like my pee is like very, very acidic, or it was just very dark. And she said, no, your pee is very dark because you're not drinking water. You need to drink water, but you're pregnant. And we were there in the closet just jumping up and down. And it really settled in. And she said, but if you want, we can go buy a digital pregnancy test. That way, you know, we can just make sure with a digital test, because the one I had bought was a not digital test. We went to like lunch like at 10:30 or 11, and we went to eat. Fuimos a comer a Taco Cabana, and then we went to Target and we bought the pregnancy test. And right away, as soon as I got to work, I took it, and yeah, it was positive. I was pregnant, and I just couldn't believe it. And what's to me, it was like, oh my goodness. It was that couple weeks before, 2 weeks before or so, Princess was rubbing her head against my belly. When we were in Mexico City, I remember that it kind of clicked, that, well, we had gone to this place, and it wasn't the best place, but I was just very nauseous, remember?
Yeah, it was like a mercado, and
there was like birria.
We had birria de borrego. It's not what probably everybody believes, but birria de borrego, borrego chivo, I don't know. But it was not good.
It was
like,
not
I
good.
can tell you, I wasn't pregnant, and it was not good.
But I was extra nauseous. And then we had gone to the pyramids, and I remember that I got so tired climbing the pyramids. I was just so tired, but I didn't think much of it. But that day it clicked, and I was like, oh, wait a second, that happened with Princess. And then at the pyramids, I got so tired. And then at that birria place, like, I threw up. Like, that's just, oh my God, that's so weird. And then even more amazing to me was that day was our boyfriend and girlfriend anniversary.
Yeah.
It was February 2nd.
February 2nd, 2018.
2018. I was so excited, and I already had my surprise for Ruben. I had bought it months ago, so I thought I was gonna get a pregnancy test months ago. Yeah, the first thing I did after work, I left work early actually, because you were gonna be off at 4 that day. No, you were gonna be off at 2. You were gonna be off at 2. So I left early. As soon as after lunch I confirmed the pregnancy, I was like, hi, can I please go? Like, I'll use my comp time. And they let me. So I was like, let me prepare something for my husband. And so, yeah, you want to say the rest of it?
Yeah,
Let me turn on the light. Hold on.
She left early, so I get off of work, I come home, and it's our anniversary. I believe I took a shower. She's like, oh, go take a shower.
Yeah.
Like, go take a shower, freshen up, or whatever. And I guess while I took a shower, she prepared fully. I go change, and then when I come over here, she's sitting down on the couch right here, this way. And she has a little baggie. And she's like, oh, I got you a gift. And I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't get you a gift. I'm like, we said no gifts. We said no gifts.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's okay. But like I felt so bad. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like it's just a little something. Just. And I mean.
Did you have an idea?
No, I had no idea. Yo estoy bien tonto. I'm like dumb. Like I don't read it. Like.
I was
like
so
I
nervous.
had no clue. I open it. I open the bag and then I see the onesie. And I'm like, I saw it in there, but I didn't grab it. And then I see a book. I don't think much of it. Then I get the card, and then I see the card. I'm like, I'm usually a read the card first kind of guy. I didn't think much of the book. I didn't know it was a onesie. I thought it was a T-shirt or something. And I pull out the card, and when I open the card, like before I read anything, obviously, it's this big old pregnancy test that says pregnant, and I see pregnant. And I'm like, oh my God, like I start crying, like yo lloro. And I start crying. And I start crying. And I look at her, I'm like, babe, are you for real? Like, really, babe? Like, you're not kidding. She's like, no, yes, I'm pregnant. And she's like crying, and then I'm crying, and we're like so crying together. Like,
yes. Oh, that was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. And something that I guess we had just a week before, days before, we had the conversation of, you know what, like, we don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be this way. I did not expect that surprise. And, like, for it to be, like, it's within reach, and then it's no longer within reach. And then all of a sudden, it's in your hands. Like, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it was so beautiful, and like, I get chills, man. Like, I get
you
chills
feel
remembering. Oh my God.
remember.
It's just it's so amazing that God put it in us, like for us to be at peace, for Him to actually bless us, and
that's where the surrender came in. I guess the day before was when I kind of decided to just surrender. I was like, okay, like I can't control everything. I couldn't control Princess's death. I couldn't control, even with all the ovulation tests and all the ultrasounds and everything, I couldn't control my body to conceive. And at that point, it was just like, I surrender to you, Lord. Like it's your choice. And a day later, it was like, here you go. Like you're pregnant. And I remember that the day after, they called us from the veterinarian to tell us that Princess's ashes had arrived at the veterinarian. They were ready. So we went together, and that's when my husband told me, like, Princess knew that you wouldn't be alone.
Yeah, and we just think again, like, and to us, like, it all points to God. The holiday season, like, it's just reminds us to be grateful. Sharing all this, I came across some new information, which makes me far more grateful for my wife, and just reminding ourselves of the beauty of the ride, right? For anybody out there having these issues, right, struggling with the infertility train, all I can say is we're with you. I just hope that this infertility story speaks to you. The key takeaway that we really want you guys to learn is that all you need to do is just leave it up to God. Yeah, we left it to God's hands. Not only did we stop trying to control the when, but we stopped trying to control the what. From that point forward, we decided to just leave it up to God.
And so that's why I think I said in the previous vlog, but that I don't believe in birth control. I just believe in leaving it up to God, and God decides. But thank you guys so much for watching this vlog and for allowing us to be vulnerable, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's no shame in it. We're very openly emotional.
Yeah.
And this is the most vulnerable one, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
See,
if you cried, I'm sorry. We cried too, right? But no, this is the only one you're gonna cry.
So again, thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. Stay tuned for the last episodes. Thank you guys for watching.
And we'll be seeing you guys on the next episode.
Bye.